Katona and Al Khan are opening up UFC 315. I'm slightly surprised to see Katona as a plus 150 dog. He had a close fight with G Matsumoto last time out, and he does have the tools to win this match. Al Khan's last fight, he dropped Umar with basically the only punch he landed in the entire fight, spent the rest of it on his back. His fight before that, he fought a tiny 5'2" Brazilian guy, and even though he won fairly comfortably, he did get taken down 3 times, and yeah, he reversed position straight away, got back up, he was never controlled. But the point is that if a tiny Brazilian bum can have a bit of success taking you down, and Umar completely takes you down at will, then Katona, who's somewhere in the middle ground, will probably have a bit of success too. And 3 fights ago, Al Khan was rocked and dropped in the first round by another random Brazilian guy before coming back with a head kick knockout. So yeah, while Al Khan has defensive grappling ability, good power for his weight, I'm not sure he deserves to be a minus 175 favorite against a guy like Katona, who has elite cardio, good wrestling, and he can hold his own on the feet as well. So yeah, I'm picking Katona here. Daniel Santos versus Jong Yong Lee up next. Lee got melted in his last fight versus Hyder Emil, folded under the forward pressure and power. He won his 2 UFC fights before that, but they were uneventful decisions, and he didn't really impress me. He has power, but I think Santos will be the slightly better striker and grappler here, skill-wise. The only problem is that Daniel Santos hasn't fought for 2 years, and he's moving up to featherweight for the first time in this fight, and Lee will have a few inches height and reach advantage over him. I'm not sure why Santos is moving up. He'll be smaller than most featherweights he comes up against. Again, I think Santos is slightly better skill-wise, but due to the layoff and size difference, I can't bet him. Line is around pick him, which I guess makes sense. Be interesting to see them face off to see whether Santos has bulked up properly for this. If he has, might lean him to win. But otherwise, it's a hard one to call. Barrio versus Bruno Silva. Silva just seems like a broken shell of a man, just going through the motions in his past few fights. Neither he nor Barrio won since 2023, so someone will be getting their first win in 2 years here. And I think it will probably be Barrio. I think he's going to outbox Bruno, throw more, land more. Even if the first round is close, Barrio will come on strong and take over. Of course, he has been knocked out in round 1 twice in a row, with the starts for Sloth being particularly bad. At this point, he may be just as washed as Bruno is. His chin may be fully gone. The line is widened too, with Barrio being around a minus 150 favourite, which is slightly alarming. But if you've been KO'd twice in a row and you're still the favourite, that equally says something about your opponent as well. So yeah, I'm going with Barrio to win, probably by decision. But he could also melt Silva in round 3, like Meerschaert did. Navajo Sterling versus Ivan Erslan up next, light heavyweight fight. Sterling is good technically, good striking fundamentals, throws clean straight shots, goes to the body as well, good physique. Doesn't really seem to have huge power or speed though, and his grappling defense is questionable. Yeah, he does have knockouts, but equally he couldn't knock out Tuco Topos in the last fight. He's a big favourite here, minus 300. No way I would bet that at all for someone who's so green. Erslan is decent, has power, aggression, he will come forward, he will fight. He did all right versus Kutalaba, split decision. He has been knocked out in the past, and Navajo might snipe him here. But equally, Navajo might fall under the forward pressure, maybe get backed up to the cage, get taken down, and just outdogged for 3 rounds. So yeah, I think betting Navajo here is not a smart move. And at these odds, there's definitely a path or two to victory for Erslan. And it's probably worth a bet at plus 250. Next fight is Bukauskas versus Kutalaba. Pick 'em odds. Both guys have similar styles. They like to stand and trade. Both have questionable defense. Both can kill or be killed. Both have some takedown and submission ability as a secondary skill set. Overall, it's just a volatile fight where anything can happen. Hopefully the under is juiced, then I'll probably bet the over, because even though knockout is live for either guy, this could definitely go to decision as well. But yeah, no way I'm betting on either money line. It's too volatile for my liking, and at pick 'em odds, I don't see any value on either guy really. If I had to pick one though, I'll go for Kutalaba, just because Modestus really is there to be hit in pretty much every fight. Andrade versus Jasmine up next, and yeah, I'm going for Andrade as a plus 250 dog. Jasmine is solid, but I wouldn't ever bet her at minus 300 against anyone, let alone one of the few women in the sport that actually has power as well as some grappling ability. If Jasmine can't take Jessica down, then it's going to be a standing battle, and then these odds are just ridiculous. So yeah, I'm picking Andrade here. Next fight is Mike Malott versus Charlie Radke. Malott has good wrestling, good submissions, striking is serviceable, he has good power, throws decent kicks. I'm just not confident that you can take Radke down and keep him down, especially without gassing out like he did against Magny. And if it's a stand-up fight, I think Radke takes it. On the feet, he just looks faster, more power, more aggression. Malott is around minus 200, which is not worth it at all. Radke at around plus 175 is worth a go, I think. So next up we have BSD versus a late notice Canadian who went 0-2 in the UFC half a decade ago. BSD inside the distance probably hits, but the odds will be super juiced, and I wouldn't parlay it just in case this guy somehow survived 3 rounds. And of course, BSD money line is ridiculously low odds. It's not worth parlaying that either in case of a freak injury or DQ or some shit like that. But yeah, BSD is definitely going to win. Alexa Grasso versus Natalia Silva up next. Silva is a high-level striker, fast, accurate, technical, can fight on the back foot. Grasso is more well-rounded, has decent boxing, but importantly, she'll have the grappling edge here. She has takedown ability, as well as a knack for getting her opponent into submission attempts from unexpected angles. I may be proven wrong, but I think she has more power than Natalia too. At plus 200, I think she's definitely worth a bet, and I'm going to pick her to win. Next up is Jose Aldo versus Ayman Zahabi. Both guys are quite old, especially in bantamweights. But interesting, neither guy seems fully washed yet. They both have some fight left in them. Zahabi pulled off a big upset versus Basharat last year with a great performance and followed it up by beating a fellow old man in Pedro Munoz. Both Aldo and Zahabi will probably just box for the whole fight, and Aldo is probably going to be the better boxer, which I guess is why he's the favourite. And I will pick him to win, but there's no way at all I can bet him at minus 250, or I think it's minus 200 now. Especially as the fight is probably going to decision, and it's not hard to imagine Zahabi edging a 29-28 victory on the judges' cards. I will say that fight goes to decision is my lock of this card. The odds are quite shit. It's like minus 400. Usually the lock that I give out is a bit better odds than that, but there's nothing else that really kind of appeals to me as a lock here. A lot of the big favorites, I'm fading them. So yeah, take what you can get. Next up is Valentina versus Fiorot for the belt. At first, it's surprising to see Shevchenko as the dog, but I watched Fiorot's last fight against Blanchfield, and yeah, she looks big, strong, faster than Shevchenko at this stage of their careers. Good takedown defense as well, defended all of Blanchfield's takedowns. And I suppose the line makes sense when you look at it from that angle. In her prime, Valentina probably wins, but at this stage, I'm not so sure. And I know Fiorot's kind of old too, she's 35, but she still seems strong and fast, and I think Valentina may have a hard time in the stand-up and may struggle to secure takedowns too and top control like she did versus Grasso. So I'll pick Fiorot to win, but betting-wise, I would stay away from this one. Main event is Belal versus JDM for the strap. Seems a fairly binary grappler-striker matchup, although I do rate Belal's boxing higher than most people probably do, and equally, I like to bet JDM to win by submission at huge odds whenever he fights, even though it's never hit yet. I have a bet on JDM to win by decision at plus 500. I think it's going to be hard to finish Belal due to the constant mixing up of his grappling and boxing and his durability, and he's an elite level fighter at the end of the day, so these fights often do go to decision. But I think if Jack can fend off some of the takedowns, just win rounds by doing more damage, yeah, he might get the knockout, but I like the odds at him to win by decision. He might edge out at 48, 47, something like that. Yeah, I wouldn't bet Belal's money line at plus or minus 200, whatever it is. And JDM money line probably was worth to go at plus 200, but it's dropped down now, and I don't know. I'd rather just place a small bet on him to win by decision. If you want to see the rest of my bets, go to patreon.com/bcbet.